Yes, ma'am. It's Dr. Padma here. So,
Yeah, Padma.
segment we were trying to look about, how to how to import the data and how to go to the home, get data, transform, model data. We had this order people return
Mm.
data. In case if it is null, then you will have to transform the data. Then you had looked into yesterday you were talking about the visualization, the canvas part of it. You were trying to look about the column, color, image, x-axis, y-axis, and category. You were trying to look into all those, if it has been borderline, grid line, and other things. You were trying to elaborate on those elements, I guess. Uh,
Yes.
the last one was you were trying to do category wise sales, a subcategory profit. You were trying to show in a bar chart, and I think some segments of the consumer had to be explained. We had different segments till there. I guess we had done.
Yes. So I think more or less Padma has explained about what all we have done. We have started with the get data, then we have taken one data which has orders, which has other details. Then we start with the visualization. The data part which is being covered as we have discussed about the how to extract the data, how to use the data. Yeah, so these things I have covered. I have shown you certain visuals also, like how you can create the visuals, how the dynamic visuals can be created, how the how formatting can be done by using a format for using a format painter, that is a shortcut where if you have created one subset of, if you have assigned or if you have formatted one plane or one chart, then that can be formatted using a format painter. It can be painted to the next. So this all we have discussed in the yesterday's class. We have taken a data set and I have just talked you about the simple modeling concept, how the data can be taken and how it can be forward. So looking forward to the next, today I will be discussing about the query editor. Right. So it is what all, it is more towards the data set which we are using, how to transform the data, how to make that data a meaningful data, and other aspects of the data, how we can do the join, what are the different types of join, and what are the meaning of those join, where we should go for. It will automatically give you the join, then you have to correct it whether it is joining properly or not. And if the data is not proper, good afternoon, Jyoti. If the data is not proper, then you have to make it a proper by giving a proper data types to it. And today we will be discussing about how the data can be extracted from the website, which can be from the web, and how the PDF, if you have a PDF file of the data, how it can be used and it can be extracted. So I have one data set in the PDF format. I just download it and share it with you. Yeah, Jyoti, you have a query. Okay, if anybody has any query related to what we have discussed yesterday, if you have practiced at home, then I am there to take the query first, and then we will be starting with the with today's session. So I think Jyoti has some query. Jyoti,
Yes.
you want to
हेलो
ask?
गुड आफ्टरनून मैम.
Good afternoon.
मैम मैंने ये मैप बनाया था जो आपने बोला था कल. मैं
Okay.
स्क्रीन शेयर करके दिखाती हूँ आपको. इसमें कुछ एरर आ रहा है.
Okay. Okay.
आई एम शेयरिंग माय स्क्रीन.
Okay, just I give you a right. Yeah.
My screen visible?
Yes, yes.
मैम ये मैप जब मैं बना रही हूँ ना तो उस पे आ रहा था
हम्म,
मैप एंड फील्ड मैप विजुअल्स आर डिसेबल्ड टू एनेबल देम टू गो फाइल ऑप्शंस एंड सेटिंग्स। मैम मैंने ये
mhm.
किया बट मुझे मिल नहीं रहा।
Okay, the options and
पावर बीआई
setting. Yeah,
सेटिंग में जाके आपको
yeah.
इनेबल करना पड़ेगा, फिर उसके बाद पावर बीआई रीस्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा, तब होगा ये।
हाँ,
Yeah, you can go to file here. यहाँ पे file है, then there is a setting option available.
फाइल मेनू में
File menu, yes. Setting and option available is there. Then you have to go to security as what he said.
ऑप्शंस एंड सेटिंग्स
Options and settings, yes.
डेटा सोर्स सेटिंग्स राइट।
Options. I think it is in
Option.
options. It is giving option, then global, then security.
ओके तो यहाँ पे है डेटा लोड पावर क्वेरी डेटा क्वेरी आर
Security.
Global,
सिक्योरिटी
security, yes, security.
सिक्योरिटी वेयर सिक्योरिटी या मिल गया।
Then global,
यूज ये यूज मैप एंड फाइल
Map and field map.
लास्ट में राइट।
hmm,
ओके
then you have to close and open it again, yes.
पावर बाई क्लोज करके दोबारा से ओपन करें।
हाँ, that's what he is saying. I think he has tried, so that's
ओके
what
ओके डोंट सेव ये सेव।
say. Otherwise, it won't be saved your document. You can open the file. Why you want to open the data? I think your file is saved, right?
कहाँ से ओपन होगी मैम
वो यहाँ पे जहाँ पे आपने सेव करी है, you can go for file and open. Go to file, left corner file. Then open. This one, this maybe if you have saved it with the same name. This
Map
was
one.
not there.
मैप इज नॉट हियर। हाँ अभी आ रहा है ठीक है थैंक यू मैम।
So I just share my screen and let's see what all we have to do today, right? So this is again, I have opened a new sheet today. I will be saving it by day 3. Right. So let's see that what are the options which are available. Like, yeah, you have, when you talk about, we have discussed about the visuals in the first class. Now today we will be discussing about the data view and we are discussing about the data modeling. I think it is so. So there is a get data, there is a Excel workbook. If you want to click here from the Excel, you can do that. If you don't want, then you can directly go from the Excel workbook from here also. Right, then there is a next option. So these are most of the frequently used options which are available, which they have given in the like for the connection with the SQL server. Because here you can also have those options which are available. But in the screen itself, in the menu itself, they have given some of the options which are used. There is an important tool, there's an important menu option which is called as the transform data. So we will see that because once the you are not able to edit the data once it is in the view format, but if you want to change any data at the backend, then you have to use the transform data. Right. So when you click on the transform data, there are more and more options which are available. So first I will be taking I'll be taking the PDF file, which I have already shared with you. And we try to use all these options which are available, right? So That is a PDF file, so I can have a, I think there must be some option. Okay, there's no option, so I can go to file, right? I can click on file. There is an option called import, right? I click, what I have to do first, I have to import the PDF file for my data. So I have already shared the PDF file with you in your Zoom. So I click on import. Import BI visual from file. I think. Actually, it is from the.
Ma'am, you can go to get data from another source. There you
Okay.
can upload a
Upload the file. Because in my at my home I have practice that is available at this. So I go for more other sources. Okay, that is PDF. I think all may I found the PDF. This is the PDF, right? So all sources there is a option called PDF. I click on PDF and connect. Now I can see my downloads with where I have installed, where I have kept my PDF, right? So it is in the download this thing. So I have attached this PDF. Now it will be taking some time to connect. All right. So here you can see that there are options which are available as the table 1, table 2, table 3, right? So these are the options which are available in most of the cases because this particular has many of because the pivot Power BI has not identified what is the data which you want to fetch, right? So what you have to do is you have to just click on this and find out, is this the data which I am looking for, right? Or if not, then you can find out with all the 3 pages, is this the data which is, this is having some null values, and I think that is something different. So I can open the PDF, this is something which is incomplete or maybe some different chart which is there. So what I can do is, I can select the first PDF, which is for the page 2, where I have the details which are there, right? So you can check by clicking it, you can check the view of that PDF, which is being available, which data you want to extract, and then click on the load, right? So if you are having the PDF file or something, so you can find out that there are data which is available. Apart from that data, there are many more things which are available. There may be some text or something. So you just check once and then try to upload.
Ma'am, where is the PDF file? Have you shared?
I have, yeah, I have just put it on your Zoom.
Ma'am,
Shall I put it in? Okay, I will just check. Shall I share it again? It was already shared in this.
yeah, ma'am.
You
Because
got
I
it?
have joined late. No,
Okay.
ma'am, I have joined late.
Okay, okay. Just a minute, I will share it. I have shared it again.
I'll check it out.
So next, it has been uploaded, right? So your PDF has been uploaded. Then what is the next step? The next step is you can see your data that is available in the data file, right? I think there is a lot of background voice. Right. So you can see that there is a data which is available as a table 1 to 2, right? Under the data. So what I can do, I can just click on this and try to find out how it is going to be look like, right? So I can click here, I can see the columns. So there is age, name, office, salary, and start date, right? If I want to see the view, I can go to the data view of this particular table. So it has been selected. So the data is downloading, right? So now you can see that there is a data which is available. It has a properly mentioned as name, position, right? So you don't have to do much thing because it is again, it is in the format of this thing. You can change the start date if you want, right? Rest others details are in the clean format. If it is not clean, then you have to do you have to remove the spaces, you have to do, and you have to put it in the format. So how to change the date? So you have to select the date, you have to change it is in the date format. The only thing is you have to change the month, year, and this. So you have changed it in the date format. Right? So I think the first step is done. We have added, like say, if you have to extract some data and that data is in the PDF format, so you can use the Power BI tool to extract the data, so that like there are many reports which are there, or many reports of the data is there, and we find it difficult to use it for our analysis. So what you can do is you can use the Power BI to export the data in the same sequence of manner that we have done. Right. So this is done. Now you can move to so we have taken a PDF and we have uploaded it by using the get data PDF format. The second thing that I will be showing you how you can explore and how you can have the web data in your system, right? So I can go for the World Economic Outlook database and try to extract the data from there, right? So I just open my Google. I just share with you. So I go to Google, you can search for the data. It can be any data. You can go to the Kaggle and then you can look for the data. So it is World Economic Outlook. You can select on the second option. You can go to all countries. I will be sharing the link with you, right? So the data which I am fetching is, it can be shown to you.
Ma'am, please share it on WhatsApp group, na?
Yeah, I will be doing that. I just go to that particular link at the end and then I will be sharing. So I can go to all states, then I can take maybe current prices, right? GDP of current prices. Then I have selected that data. I will be continuing it. Then I will be having a fixed date range, that is from 2019 to 2000 this. Then I go for prepare report. Right now you can download. So one thing is you can download this report from here and you can use this Excel as a static one. The another way is what you can do is you can take this, I can copy and paste this link. So this is the browser link. I will be sharing it with you in your WhatsApp. So I can share this link in the WhatsApp. You just have to copy and paste this link in get data. So we can go to the get data. I can come. So this is done. So what I can do is I can go to the home again. Okay, I will just share the screen of Power BI. So the first step is I can go to the get data, right? My next is I will be using a web, right? So I click on this web. I have already copied and pasted the link of the data, right? So I have just paste it here and I said, okay. So it is just confirming that it is from this page. I said, okay. So even you can go to any website which has a data, then you can say take the web option. Even I can paste that web link in this also. The web data has to be in the specific format. I don't think so. It has worked for me, right? So this you can see that. So what will be the first step? The first step is you have to click and see the table format, which particular table format is available, right? So I have clicked on the first one and it has seems to be the same, which I was saying, like there is a country, there is a subject distributor, right? There are units, there are scale, then there are year-wise data, which is available, right? If I click on the next sheet, I can see, right? So it has a specific certain things which are available year-wise. So this is also the same kind of data, but it has almost the same parameter, and this is something which is based on this thing, right? So you can see that which particular data is in the proper format. If this you can see that it is HTML, it cannot be extracted as it is. So I can ignore this. I can take either table 1 or 2. So I can take the table 1. And this is considered to be the current prices, and this is considered to be the country-wise current prices. So this is almost the same. So I take the first table and try to load, right? So up to this is clear. What all we have done is we have taken a web data link, right, from the browser, and we have just copied, and then we have the table available to work with. So first it has given you the preview, and the next is it is uploading in the data card. So this is the data which I have, the table 1, right? These are the different columns. There are total 13 columns which are there. So I think we have not changed the name of this thing, the first table. So what we can do is we can start with the changing the name of the table also. So I click on the table and I want to change the name. The name can be changed from here, right? So if I say this is the GDP current prices data, so I can have GDP hyphen or something like current price. Current price. Right? So I have given the name as GDP current price. So the name is saved, right? You can see that the name is saved here. So now you have to clean the data. So what are the steps for we have seen that the table name has been changed, right? Now you have to see how we can change the data type, right? So is there any data type that has to be changed? So this is, if you can click on column, you can see that it is a text, so it's okay. Right, so it is a text. If this particular column has to be numeric, so this is the text again, so you have to make it a numeric, right? So you have to make it decimal. You want to, it is confirming you want to change. So you can't have a decimal data type. So I have to say the whole. Maybe it has been.
Ma'am, I think in the transform you will get.
Okay.
Go to
yes.
home and
Yes,
power
yes,
query.
yes, I remember. Yes, so that's what I want to write. So you have to, you are not able to
Transform,
edit
yes.
the, yes, you are not able to edit the changes on the editable mode, but all the changes in the data set has to be only the table we are able to change. But if you click on transform, you will be getting another interface. And that is what is the query editor is, right? So this, you can see that it is a Power Query Editor. So once you have done this changes, you can see that it has a different, altogether different interface, which is somewhat different from the Tableau. If you can compare, I think there was a yesterday there was a question of Tableau and Power BI. So Tableau doesn't provide you to work on the data sources, but what the Power BI does, Power BI gives you a different interface altogether where there are more things can be done for query and for the table. So if you can see that there is, okay, I have copied a different table, so maybe I have to take the GDP present, right? So this has been opened. So I can go to the table, right? I can go to the column. I can see the data type. So there must be choose the data type, text data type. And I can change the data type to maybe decimal or maybe number, right? I can have a decimal number.
मैम आपका स्क्रीन स्टक हो गया है.
Okay. I share it again. Maybe now it is available.
हाँ, yes ma'am.
Right, so it has automatically taken. You can see that ABC is written here, means it is in the different, like it is number. So same way you have to change the data type of the different. So you can go, you can have the data type as decimal number. Right, so all the data type has to be changed. I think you have to go one by one, or you can try for the all together also. There may be possibility or may not be. So I think okay. So any data source that can be extracted from the Google, from any web account, and that can be used comfortably. So I can go to the data type, resume, replace current, data type, resume. Right. So what all you can see that there is a problem. There is the first, this fifth column has to be removed, right? Because there is no data in the fifth column. It has something which is considered to be we can go for a removing this particular column. So I can, so I have already selected, so I can remove this column, right? So this column can be removed. You can see that there is a data which is being extracted, and you can see that the first column is considered to be the header, right? So what you can do is there is an option called to use first row as header, right? So you can use this option first row as header. So what we have done is we have go for the first row as header, right? Then acha, I have made a mistake because what I have done is I have done its number first. So it has the year which has been changed to one dot. Maybe it has taken some logic or something. So it is 2019 data. So what I can do is I can make it as 2019. I can remove this. This is something else. It is coming as 1.2 or something. I don't know why. So what all is because you are not able to do the analysis. What you want it to be 2019. You want, like say there are different countries, and this is the data of 2019. This is the data of 2020, and so on. So what you want this to be reflected as in the row, and this values to be, like say there has to be 2019 all, and then this data for 2019. Similarly for all the countries to 2020, and then the data. So you want the data to be like that, so that you can do any analysis. You can create many charts based on those analysis. So how to do that is there is an option where you can select, where you can multi-select these columns. Right? You want it to be in the form of 1919 and then the data, right? For all the countries, respective countries, and you want it to be in the repeated repeated for all the countries. So there is an option where you have the pivot option that is called as there must be something here. Okay, that is under transform. So here also you have the transform. There is unpivot column, right? So you have to use the unpivot column option. So first you have to select all the columns. All the columns are selected. Now next step is you have to click on the unpivot column. So you can see that how the data has been created. So it is 2019. In the 19, you have all the details. Then for all the countries, that is 19 is there. Then 2019, 2020, and you have all the values with respect to the year, right? So you have the year, and then you have the value. So if you're doing some research and some data is in this particular format, then you can use the pivot option. The pivot BI option can easily your data can be transposed easily as based on the format. There is one more thing that is there is you can see that there you cannot you cannot undo the things which are already done in the table, right? So these are the commands which are written. So you can see that in the right hand side there is a applied steps. Applied steps means the first step that you have done is the source. The second, you have extracted the table from HTML. Third is this. So if you want to remove certain steps, or if you want to unpivot, like say you want that your table to be back, so you can click here. There is a delete option, right? So if you click on here, then it will be back to the original this thing. If you click on the data type, then the data type which you have created as the decimal that has been gone back to, and it also having the same data type. So the same data type which is there as a character. So it has been changed to the character type. So in the same way, you can create, or you can you can use these options for undo certain things in the data source if you have done wrongly. Right, so I have created this data source. I can go for the transform and the pivot. I can.
Can you please repeat the step of unpivoting the table?
Unpivotable? Yes, I repeat
And
it.
what are the changes which are happening?
Changes are happening. Okay. So you
Yeah.
can see that if you can see this data, because most of the time, if you have the data in the financial or the gross data which is coming, or there can be a money control data or something which is coming or any financials data from the website, you will be finding it out as in this particular format. Like say, if you have a Afghanistan in 2019, this is the value, right? Then similar way for the Albina, this is the value for 2019. And the similar, because we have taken the data from 2019 to 2022. So you have this data. But when you are doing the analysis in the Excel, you are not able to do the analysis because of the fact that this data is not in the particular format. Because for the analysis, what you want 2019, you want a particular country, Afghanistan, 2026 and 2399. So you want this data to be in the formatted so that you can prepare graphs and everything. Because if you have this data, then you are not able to do certain graph visuals or certain graphs in the appropriate manner. So because the only thing is that you cannot compare these years, right? If this is in that particular format, if you want to take average, if you want to take sum for the year wise, right? In that particular, you have been restricted to do or to take the benefit of the data. So what basically we are doing with this pivot is, well, how we want this data to be formatted. We want this data to be formatted in terms of like Afghanistan 2019, this is the value, 2020 1470 is the value, and so you want this to be repeated. So if you can see the number of records which are coming up is if I see all the countries I have selected, so there are 196, 195 are the total countries. So 195 multiplied by, so if you have 2019, so 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So 195 multiplied by 8, right? So you want this many records to be available, and it will be like 2019, this will be the amount, then 2020, this will be the amount for Afghanistan, and so on. So what basically you are doing is in Excel again, or in most of the cases when this we do the analysis in the Excel, we do the manual work.
Right.
Because what we do, we copy the 1919 and we copy all the data. Then we copy all the countries and then 2020 and copy that data. Right, so that is a manual exercise. To avoid that manual exercise, what we can do is you can put it in the pivot and put it in the Power BI and do that exercise within a second. So how to do that? You have to select only those records which are in which you want it to be in the formatted. So I have selected all the records. Now, under the transform, there is an option called unpivot columns, right? So I click on unpivot columns, and you can find that for the Afghanistan, this is the data for 2000 for 20, like if I sort with the Afghanistan, I can see
Okay.
that Afghanistan
Yes,
has
yes.
8 times Afghanistan has come, then Albina, and so on and so forth. So this data is automatically formatted. You don't have to do the manual work. It is already there. The same facility is there in Tableau also. So Tableau also you can do the same thing. So there is an option which is available. So this is the option. So this options can be there in the text text format, right? So it is there in the transform. So transform, there are different options which are there. You have we have used this, right? There can be replace value. So this also you can try. Like if you want to do the split column, like say supposingly I want to split the gross domestic and current prices if I want to quote somewhere. So they are separated by comma, right? If you want to extract some value and they are concatenate with some other value. So there is an option which is called as the split, right? So you can click on the split, you can select the data, you can click on the split, and you can say how you want to split it. I want to split by delimiter, and the delimiter I can see that that is comma. So if it is for number of characters, if it has a fixed number of characters, then you can use this, right? If position left, right, or uppercase, lowercase, so it is based on the requirement. So I want to split this column. I can click on this split column and by delimiter, and by delimiter is comma. So I can say that this is the comma, which is my delimiter. So what it does, it will be creating an extra column for you, and that will be maintained. So if I said comma, and if I said okay, right? So you can see that these are the two which has been separated. And if you have done something wrong, right? Say if you do not want to apply this step, so then you can click on delete this. So it will be in the normal format. So if you have done anything wrong in your data type, so there is no undo but option which is there. So you can just click on this and then it will be undo to the previous step. So we have used, so we have cleaned the data, how we have cleaned, we have changed the data type, we have done, we have renamed the table. We have, if you want to rename the column also, you can do, like say for this particular, it has a subject distributor 1 and subject distributor 2, right? If I want to if I want to rename this as something else, right? If I want to give it as GDP or something, so I can GDP details or something, or maybe the subject something. So I can change the name also. So then that will be reflecting in my column. If I in my data, if I can see in my data, it will be reflecting. So I can change this attribute as year, because this is not the attribute one, it is the year, and this is the GDP, which is there. So I think GDP description also, this is the GDP value which is there for 2019, right? So you can change the date that we have done, use the first row as a header we have done. If you have certain values as null value, or you want to remove those null value or blank value, so there is an option, but in this particular data set, we don't have the null value. So otherwise, if it is a null or the blank value, and if you want to remove, so in the previous case, yesterday, we are doing one exercise, and where it has to be in the data has to be in the transformed phase. So there I will show you the other two, how to remove the null value and how to do the other thing. So can you please repeat the step, how the data is organized by the year? I have lost the connectivity issue. Yes, Smita, it is very easy. Like say, if I click on the unpivot table, right? I delete this step of unpivot table, right? So Acha, the attribute was not found. Okay. So what I can do is, because I have changed the attribute, so I have to delete all this thing and attribute promoter header. Okay. So this is how Smita the data is. So I am just repeating the steps. So what you have to do is, what all you have to unpivot, you have to select those data, you have to click on unpivot, then the data is formatted like this. Now you have to change the year, so that can be changed as year, and that values can be changed as to give the proper name as GDP, current price, right? So now once you have done, you can close this. I think this is a separate window, altogether a separate window. So I think this can be closed. Apply and close. So always, if you want to save the things, you can not simply close, you can say apply and close. Right. So I can now see that what is in my data, right? So it has been, there's a separate sheet which is coming as a data sheet, right? So I have changed all the things, all the columns has been changed with a proper name. So it has being this thing. So one query is loaded with error. So we have GDP current, right? So this is the data which you have. So you can play around with the visuals. You can create the visuals. You can see that how the data has been, the country-wise data, or the country-wise data, how it is being performing the year-wise, right? So you can go to the visuals and see. You can click on the home. Right, when you once you click on the home, you will be getting all these options which is available. So there is a data view which is there. If you want to create some visuals, so click on the visuals. The same way you have click on, say, if you want this particular chart to be developed, you can click on the cluster chart. You can take because these two tables are not connected, right? So these are separately. So if you want to create, like, say, if I take country and if I take units and year, okay, I want to take year, I don't want to take unit, I want to take year, and I want to take the GDP. Right. So there are many countries which has a very low GDP as compared to the few of the countries. So what I can do for the better this thing, I can filter my page. So I can make it, or I can remove the country. I think I can remove the country, then I will be getting a better visual how the year wise can be this thing. So I have the year wise details which is there, and the legend, instead of legend, if I put it on x-axis, so this is the x-axis where I can see, right? So you can make it beautiful, as we have discussed in the last class, that you can use this format visuals. You can go to each and every tab, and then you can change the background, you can change the visuals, you can change the whatever the details that you want to do. So filter option, filter option. So you can have some options which are available where you can have a less than or something. Like say if you want to consider only those which are for the GDP, right? So if you want to put some condition, like you want to take from this to this, right? So there you will be using this options as the less than or greater than or equal to, right? So you want to consider only the students or only the orders or only the employers which has a salary greater than this, something like that, right? So you can put some conditions also based on the application of filter. So there is another filter which is called as where you can explore and find out the top 10, right? So in some of the situations, like in case of if I create another page and where I put the countries, I do not want the countries to be less than, or say the first 5 countries which has a highest GDP, something like that, right? So I can have, I can create a visual first, I can create the visual, then I want the GDP to be there. I want the country to be there. Country to be there, right? So I have just placed country and GDP, no year, because if I put year, then there are too much of clumsy which is there. So what I can do, I want there has to be display of the first 10 countries, right? Because there are too many countries. There are total 196 countries, and it is the graph is not very appropriate for that, because most of the countries have the same amount which I can see, which the sum of all the years, like 4-5 years having the same. So what I can do is I can apply the filter. I can apply the filter, and I want on which basis I want. I want it to be on the basis of the first 10. So okay, I just want the how many countries to be. I want there has to be limited countries on the basis of the data field, and add the data field here. So the adding the data field as the currency or a current this thing. And I want I want that top 10 filter. Sum of GDP. So that is a basic filtering. There is a basic filtering. Under the basic filtering, I can use top n, and top n may I can define the 5, like say 5 or 6. So I want first 6 which are there, and by value of what? By value of GDP I want to put. So apply, when I apply the filter, I can see that apply the filter, I can see that these are the first 6 countries which are there, right? So if your data is too large and it is not displaying properly, so you can use this top n option, like top 10 students, top 5 students who have done better, or top 5 countries which are doing better. So in that way, you can get this feature as well. And it is something which is appropriately done for this particular chart. So there is the option called refresh, right? So that is there in the home option. So when there is, like say we have changed something, and we want it, sometimes it is not being reflecting from the back end to the front end. So what you can do is you can click on the refresh. So automatically all the tables which has been uploaded, based on that, all the data into the visuals have been uploaded accordingly. Right. So there are some errors in this. I think this is the error where I have changed the. I just check what is the error. Pending changes, your query haven't applied. So that may be in the middle of the query uploaded. So it was in the middle. So that's why it is giving me the error. I have uploaded. So now it is perfectly fine. Right. So this we have done for the two different data. One is we have taken from the PDF and the another one we have taken from the web. Now, yesterday we are finding the problem in the, because these are the two separate tables, so I cannot show you the data modeling with this. So what you can do is you can open the yesterday's the pivot table that we have drawn, and I just want to show you. We will be doing the data query. We will be applying the query. We will be doing the data cleaning and transforming, etc. I think it will be taking time. So what I can do is I can add the same file here, so then that will be easy. So I can take the get data, and I have used the get data in the Excel format. Yesterday we have done the class on the same. Then I go to I think we have taken one data as the 10.1 sample, right? So I have just opened the yesterday's data set that we have used. So are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have taken three different tables, people and return, right? And I click on load. This we have seen that how to get the data. If you want to remove certain data from your this thing, then there is an option you can remove the data set also. Right. So I think this preview maybe do. So I got the three tables which are order, people, and return, right? So if I click on order, right, so it is perfectly fine. I do not find any problem because it is because we have done the exercise yesterday. Only the thing is that it is not in the date and time format, right? Date format. So to make it in the date format, we have to go to transform, right? And you have to manage the data. So there is a transform, you have selected the data has to be in the date, right? Replace the column. Similarly, I have to change the another field which is called as the date format. So whole number, it is showing me whole number. I want to make it as a date. Right. So now the order is perfect. Now I can move to the next table, which is there. So you can see that this is the table which is there as a people, which is showing me column 1 and column 2. Right now I want to rename. So what are the steps that I have to follow? So I have to remove this null. That is the first step. The second step is I have to make this as a header, the first row as a header, and I have to remove the null, right? So what are the steps that I have to do is that I have to go to transform. It is in the transform in the home. There is an option called keep as a first row. So this is the option where you can use the first row as header. I click on it. I got it as a first row. Then the next is I have to remove this null. So if you can see, it is starting from 5 and it is till I think 1000 or something, right? So these are the null values. So you don't have to worry for the number
we are
of the
not,
null.
sorry to interrupt, but we are not able to see what you are doing. I think screen is stuck.
Okay, just I share it again. There may be a possibility because when I use the query editor, there is a separate window comes. So that may be the possibility here. So are you able to see this?
Yes, ma'am, now it's visible, but then we missed the steps. Which you did.
Yeah, I will just repeat it. So what I
Yeah.
have done is I have changed the order date format by clicking on this and go to transform. There is an option called date, right? So it is earlier it was coming as this we have done yesterday also. This is coming as whole number. I have changed it to date. Right. Similarly, I have made I have done the same steps for the ship date also. So click on ship date. The data type which was earlier as a whole number, I want to change it as date. Right. The second step that we have done is on the people. So I just remove the last step which I have already done. So this is actually it is opening. So when I have opened this particular, so there is a transform which is required. So what are the transformation which is required? That the first name, first header, first column as the header, right? First row as a header that is required, and I have to remove this null value. So these are the two steps that I have to do to transform this data. So what I can do is I can click on the home, right? So the home, there is an option called use first row as header. So I click on first row as header. Now it has become header. And these are both are the text, so no problem. Now I have to manage the null values which are coming. So remove the rows. What rows I have to remove? Because these are the rows. I have to remove the blank rows, right? So I click on blank. So all the remove rows of blank is done. So you can see that what are the option is there. You can remove the duplicate rows, blank rows, if it is having some error, if there is some alternate rows or bottom rows or top rows. If you click on bottom rows also, then it will ask for how many rows you want to remove, right? So sometimes that there is some heading, like when you have copied from the PDF, you find that there are two rows which are having some headings or a common heading or a title. So that can be removed by using the top row and bottom row. So there are, if you want a certain rows to be keep, then you can keep those rows. If you want to remove, then you can use the remove rows. Choose column, remove column, right? This is split we have already used, sorting is there. So these are some of the options which you can click and try it out, and you can explore by yourself, because I have just shown you a very basic things that can be made. So now we can move to the next, that is return. In the return, you can see that there is a column 1 and column 2. It is it has to be the first row as a header. So the same steps I have to click here as a first row as header. The order ID and return date, which is now it is rightly done. So there is no null record, so it's fine. So these are all return records which are there. So what I can do is now I can see that how this three tables can be linked to each other, as I have made the corrections in terms of headings, in terms of data types, in terms of etc. So I can close this window because I have to first apply. So I have to say apply and close, right? So because, okay, if I use apply and because it takes some time for applying and it is not sure if you can have the apply and close, it means that it has been done, the modeling is done, or that's why you are closing it. So if I say I want to close it because I have already made the changes. Right. So now I can move to, because this is the front, this is the pop-up screen which you can see. I think there are some queries maybe when your screen is frozen. Right. So now what we have to do is we have to follow the steps and try to find out how to create a models, right? So if you can go to the data view, you can see that all the three tables are perfectly, because earlier it was having a column name as column 1, column 2, right? So it is perfectly fine. So now you can have all the three tables in place. How to link this table? If you are using only a single table for your table for your like creation of visuals, right, and it has further more information related to your tables, and if it is not connected, then you are not able to use or not able to perfectly use that particular options. So what you can do, because this is not the table, so we have three tables from the same, where you can see that the pivot has already made the connections. So I have written also, so there is no connection with return, right? So if you can see that if I go for this three table, the order, return, and people. So there can be three types of relationship. If you click on this, you can see that there are three kind of relationship which are there. The first kind of relationship is one and one, right? So what is one, many to one, right? So it is showing me four kind of relationship. It is one to one. One to one is a kind of relationship which you have, where you have one record of one table only exists with the one record in the second table. Means, like say supposedly if your employee ID is 001 and the employee ID is again the same in the another table, that is 001. So number of repetition of the employee ID, or you can say the reach in the one table to the another table is. So if you have a one table with employee ID and name, and if you have another table with employee ID and address, then the count of the employee ID in one table and the another table is exactly the same. So that is kind of the relationship which is called as the one-to-one relationship, right? If you have many to many, it means that the order ID has, or say your employee ID is involved into many, you are taking the role of say professor, assistant professor, or you are having a load of academic coordinator, you are a director of some, you are program coordinator of events, so you have a many to many relationship. There can be the one employee can be involved in many activities. The another table, there are the employees which are involved in many activities of the first table. So if you have that kind of relationship, then that is many to many relationship. The third kind of relationship is many to one or one to many. So like in this particular case, you have four regions, and these regions are multiple time it is coming to the order table. So you can see the west is appearing to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, then east is appearing many times, then the central is appearing many times. So you have one to many relationship. In this table it is once, but in the another table, order table, it is many, right? So this kind of relationship is many. So it has by default taken as many to one. So many, if you can see that the table 1 and table 2, there are many regions which are applied, and there are single region which is applied in the people table. So you can see that there is a people order table, there is a people table, and there is a relationship which has come as many to one, right? So this is the kind of relationship which is there. If you have an order table and the order ID, right? So it has not given any relationship. So I can just drag and drop the relationship Now you can see that what it has done is it has taken this as a null. So order ID, there is no order has been, if you see the return, there is no data which is coming. So there is something wrong with this table. So return table, there is something wrong with this table because the order ID is not fetched properly. So what I have to do is I have to go to the order table again and try to find a return table again and try to find out what is the problem with that particular table. Going for transform. So I can click here. Right, I can go to the transform data. I can click on the transform data. Maybe there is something which is not saved at the backend. So I have this, maybe there is a null values which is appearing. So by the, I can remove all the null values. I can remove the blank records.
Ma'am, your screen has
So,
been frozen. Ma'am, we can't see your screen.
yeah. It happens when I open a transformation. So this is the query editor. Right. So what I have done is I have removed the null for the safer side, maybe because there are some null values which are appearing. So I have removed the blank spaces, right? So what I have done is I have clicked here, I have removed the blank space. So I hope now it will be fine. So now I can close and apply. So there is the order ID and that order ID. Now it is coming fine, right? So you can see that what kind of relationship it is. It is many to many because there are many order IDs which has returned. So order ID and it has a common, like it has by default has taken the records, considered the records, and it has created as many to many relationships. So because of null value, it is not showing me. So if I press OK, now you can find out that it has created a link, and star is meant for many and one is meant for one, right? So if there is not a proper relationship, right? So if you click here and if you find that, and sometimes it has happened that it is not a proper relationship. So you can click here, or you can how to check that whether the relationship is correct or not. This is highlighted. So you can see that the region in the one section is having a relationship with the region with another table, right? So you can able to see that what kind of relationship it is, and it is region to region. There may be, like, say if you have a segment or something which is a common thing which is in the one table to another, it has created a relationship. But what you want in the relationship, it has been highlighted. So you can easily check that whether the relationship is drawn by default is correct or not. In the similar way, you can double click it and see that this is highlighted. So order ID of one table is highlighted with the order ID, means the connection which has been drawn is from the order ID of order table and order ID from of the return table. So this is how you can find out is it proper or not. Right. So next is you can create a new table, you can create a column, you can create a table also, like say supposingly if you, because we have here find out that every time we have get the data or get the data from outside source. But if you want certain date to be created or certain option to be created, you can do that also. So there is how to write or how to, okay, this we will see after a break. So I think I will take a break for 5-10 minutes. And if you have any question, I can like solve those questions, and then we will take a break of 5 minutes.
Ma'am, any books you suggest for this topic? Any standard book?
Yes, Ajay, can you be little louder?
Ma'am, I want to ask that any standard book about this topic.
For Power BI?
Are you listening, ma'am?
Yeah. For Power BI, you are saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I will be sharing some of the textbooks to you related to, or if you can search in the Google for tutorial in Power BI. So there are different chapters of Power BI which is covering each and everything in detail.
Okay, ma'am.
Right. So otherwise, I will also search for you and share it in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Maybe today or tomorrow. Yes.
Okay.
So any questions?
हेलो मैम।
हाँ, हेलो।
आई थिंक मैं मैप में अभी भी कुछ गलती कर रही हूँ, मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है, तो प्लीज
नहीं
कैन
हो
यू
रहा?
मुझे दोबारा बता
आप
दीजिए।
मुझे नहीं, मैप बनाने में कोई गलती हो रही है या फिर मैप बना ही नहीं आपका?
मेरा मैप नहीं बन रहा है मैम,
नहीं बन
पता
रहा।
नहीं
आप
क्या
मुझसे
प्रॉब्लम है।
आप या तो इस पे शेयर कर दो या फिर मुझे आप अपनी फाइल भेज दो। आई विल ट्राई टू ओपन इट।
ओके, आई शेयर माय स्क्रीन।
हाँ।
आप देखिए क्या गलती कर रही हूँ मैं।
एक
मुझे स्क्रीन विजिबल है?
नहीं, अभी तो नहीं आई।
जस्ट अ मिनट। अभी है विजिबल?
हाँ, नाउ इट इज विजिबल। यू कैन सिलेक्ट द मैप।
हाँ, मैंने मैप पे क्लिक किया।
हम्म,
समझ में, ठीक है।
हम्म।
इस पे सबसे पहले मुझे कंट्री को लाना है ना?
कंट्री नहीं, कंट्री तो एक ही है, तो यू कैन पुट सिटी नहीं, स्टेट होगा नीचे।
स्टेट। स्टेट को सबसे पहले
स्टेट को वहाँ सेंटर पे ही ले आओ, यहीं पे छोड़ दो, मैप के
यहीं पे?
ऊपर, मैप के ऊपर।
यहाँ पे नहीं, अच्छा मैप पे।
हाँ, मैप के ऊपर छोड़।
ओके, कुछ नहीं आया।
नहीं आया, ये आपका ऑर्डर आईडी है।
नहीं, स्टेट को किया मैंने।
काउंट ऑफ ऑर्डर आईडी दिखा रहा है, वो क्यों दिखा रहा है?
ऑर्डर आईडी मैं सेलेक्ट कर में कंट्री एंड स्टेट आ गया।
हाँ, कंट्री एंड स्टेट है। अब आप वो कर लो, यू कैन पुट कुछ प्रॉफिट या कुछ सेल्स कर लो। यू कैन पुट
वो भी मैप पे कर दूं
मैप
डायरेक्ट?
पे कर दो, मैप पे कर दो। नहीं, कुछ कर दो,
कुछ भी ब्लैंक
यहाँ पे
स्क्रीन आ रहा है।
कंट्री हटाओ। यू कैन रिमूव दिस लोकेशन कंट्री आल्सो। एक्चुअली आपका यहाँ पे भी रिपीट हो रहा है, सारे हटा दो यहाँ से। नीचे स्टेट भी हटा दो। अब दोबारा से करो। अब सिर्फ स्टेट ले, हाँ अब सिर्फ स्टेट ले आए ना? हाँ, स्टेट ले।
स्टेट जैसे ही लाते हैं ब्लैंक हो जाता है।
हाँ, ठीक हो जाता है। आप मुझे फाइल भेजो, आई विल ट्राई इन माय सिस्टम।
शेयर ऑप्शन,
और यू कैन व्हाट्सएप में।
या डेफिनेटली मैं इसको व्हाट्सएप करती हूँ, शेयर करके व्हाट्सएप कर
हाँ
दूँ।
हाँ
सेव एंड व्हाट्सएप।
हाँ, व्हाट्सएप। ठीक है, तो इसको मैं अभी ट्राई कर लूंगी, अदरवाइज फिर आपको शाम तक आई विल अपडेट यू।
ओके मैम, ठीक है,
प्रॉब्लम।
थैंक यू मैम।
So you can just try what we have done, and then I will be joining in 5 minutes. So it is 340, 345 too. Yes, okay. So yeah, so I have covered most of the things. We have seen how to create tables, how to transform the data, how to clean the data, how to change the column, how to remove the null values, right? So the next thing which I am taking you to while we want to just so supposingly I want to add a new column and how there are some standard or some inbuilt functions which are available in the Power BI platform through the Microsoft. There that is called as how we can incorporate that. So I am just sharing you the link so that you can see. So I am just sharing it in the your Zoom, yeah, in your Zoom. So this is the link which, if you click on this particular link, it will take you to the details of. Are you able to see my screen? Right? Yes.
Ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see that what is DAX is. DAX is the data analysis expressions, right? So if you want to apply certain expression, like it can be a function, it can be operator, like that can be combined with the inbuilt of formula in the BI for analysis and services in Power Pivot data table. So if you want to perform certain things in your data table, like yesterday, there was one query where you have to add a column based on some functions. So how to do that, right? So there can be other than that, there are different expressions which are there, like if we how to use it, like say supposingly if I want to create a calendar or right. So let's see how, what are the different steps, what is it meant for. I think I have to use function. Right. So this is the X function. This is a DAX function. And what is this DAX function of calendar all about? It is having a syntax where you can calendar start date and end date if you use this. And if you want to find out different dates from the start date and end date, if I give the date like 1991 to till now, or if I want to get the 1 year data, right, 1 year or something. So if I put 2021 to 22, so I get all the dates of 365 days dates in my calendar. Right. So this is if you want to identify or if you want to create a certain table and try to find out. So these are the different formulas which are there. You get a syntax of it. आपको syntax पे मिल जाएगा, right? How to apply it and what is the meant for. So in the same way, when we are doing in the Excel,
मैम बैकग्राउंड बहुत नॉइसी है.
So if you want a certain formula to be applied, you can search with this particular link, right? It is a Microsoft link with DAX, all the functions are there. You can click on any of the function. If you want to extract from the date, if you want to extract the month or a day, then that also can be possible. So if I want to extract all the dates from the start date to end date, right? So how I can do, so they had given the another to also, like say if you want to have some order date or sales date, and you want to extract what minimum and the maximum value. So you can create your own calendar or create your own details, and where you can have this particular function can be applied. So where to apply this function, you can create, like say I want one column to be created, and that column will be having the dates. So it can be applied to any of the sheet, right? So I have copied this calendar. I just have to, so all the meaning of that particular function, what is the meaning, how you can apply, there is a syntax which is given, there are examples which is given, the explanation is being provided, so you can easily do that. So if I create, if I apply this in my Power BI interface, so what I can do is I can create a new table, right? I can create a new table. So I can go to my view. I can create a new table, right? So where you can, every function or anything which starting with is the name, right? So in the name, it will be starting with, so you can have calendar. So this is the name of the table. So if you can see that this particular table will be saved as the label table. And if you want to change the name, you can say it is a calendar, right? So calendar is the name of this thing. The function is again a calendar. So calendar is a function. And if you find it out, what will be the syntax? So if I can put the syntax as I had copied. So that is the date format. The date I have to send, and what is the date is? The date is from this to this, right? So I think all the braces are, so this is the starting bracket and bracket. So it will be starting from 2015. So suppose I want a 1 year data, so I can change it to 2021 to 2023. Or maybe, right? So this is 2 years data starting from 1/1 so it will be providing me all the dates. So if I execute it, the calendar, the minimum argument is 2. So 1, 2. So these are the dates which has come. Right? So you can see that the date which is starting from 1/1. So how you can apply, what are the functions available? You can see from the list, and try if you want to change this particular format. So you can go and you can change this format as the number for as the date format. So DDM and 4. Right. If you want to create a column, then the new column can be created. Right. And if you want to find out, so again the column as name as this, then if you want to take as date, this is your date function. And if you want to cover this date, maybe date as date dot month. So you can apply, you can use this date and you can apply I think there is, I'm not able to get that date format. So there is a one date which has where you can find out the day, where you can find out the year and the month. So maybe I can search from the same, and so you get an idea like how to create, how to get the details of the function, how to you can always look for the new functions and the new expressions from the list of the functions which are available, and then you can create your own this thing also. There's another way where we can have we have discussed yesterday to create a new column. This I will just see what is the syntax for this. If you can have, you can move on to the next column that we have as the GDP price. And there I want to add a new column, and I want to have some expressions or some based on that in my new column. So what I can do is I can create a new column. Like in the last day, we are discussing about what can we do some expressions. Can we do addition, multiplication, or if you want to divide it by something, like say this is a GDP price. So GDP price, based on the GDP price, if I want to apply the if condition, if I say the if condition with the GDP. So it has started working on, and it is giving error. So what all you can apply, you can have a GDP, right? If I apply GDP, right? So this is a current price which has come, which is this particular table. So if I want to see this current price, right? So if I click on this current price, I think there is something wrong. As soon as I double click, I think if I do the double click, it will execute. So if I execute, if I put the double click, and if I say greater than, right? If the GDP is greater than maybe 1500, because I can see that most of the GDP is more than that. So if I say it's greater than 1500, then I want the expressions to be greater than, then good. And if it is less than, then say bad effect or something, right? So this is how you can have, so you can use that particular column name, and once you get that particular column name and you press enter or double click, then this will execute and it will be applied it for all. So then you can have a filter, or you may look it for some chart or something which has less than 1500 GDP, or maybe more than 1500 GDP or something, right? So the same we apply in we apply the functions for the Excel. It can be applied here as well, where you can use the if condition by adding an extra column. And how to apply the function, this is the syntax. You can use the if condition, and the how it will be using the square bracket for the column name. So this is the table name, this is the table name, then in bracket you can use the column name. If it is greater than something, then what you have to apply. If it is less than something, then what you have to apply. So in this way you can have, if you want certain expressions or operations to be happen, like if you want a GDP to be divided by 12 or GDP to be multiplied by 12 or something, if you want certain operations, then that can also be possible by using the mathematical operator. So you can do that also. Right, we have done, I think we have done most of the things which I can see in the format. Right, you can have a sorting by, which is there. Groups, I think you can create a new group. Let's try this as well. Okay, so you can have like I have, if I want to do the already created two groups, A and B. So if you want to group this, so then if you want to have a certain, like say, when we talk about the hierarchy, when we talk about the hierarchy, we have like year, then we have quarter, then we have month, etc. So in the same way, if you want to create, so that are the groups, like year wise, there is a group, then there is a quarter wise group, then there is a month wise group. So in the same way, you can also create the groups like this. Commission is there, then category is there. So there are certain things which can be applied. So I think I have taken you to most of the things. Calendar, I will just check and confirm you. So by the meantime, you can use some data set from Kaggle and one data set from PDF. If you have certain PDF file, then that you can share that PDF file so that everybody can work upon that. Or the exercise which I can give you that what all you have to do is you have to, I will write in the, maybe in the Excel sheet. Okay. Or what you can do is, I had already provided you with the data set of the Mart, right? Amazing Mart data set I have already given to you. So you have to apply all the steps. You have to do the data cleaning, right? You have to rename the column name and other things that you have to do. And further, you have to apply the connections. So I think that will be fine for the homework.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so you can do that, and then I am here. If you find any problem, then let me know. Yeah, Jyoti, you have shared your data with me. You have mailed me or you have sent a.
Ma'am, I'm WhatsApping you.
Okay, okay, I will just check. It has been delivered because I am not able to find it.
Yes मैम डिलीवर शो कर रहा है।
Yes, yes, yes.
और मैम एक चीज और पूछना था,
हाँ,
अभी आपने फिल्टर ऑप्शन एक बताया था ना कि हम जैसे टॉप 6 कंट्री से देखना
हाँ,
चाहते हैं, वो फिल्टर कैसे लगाया था आपने?
हाँ, उस केस में यू हैव टू गो टू लाइक कंट्रीज में हमने लगाया था, तो यू हैव टू फर्स्ट गो टू कंट्री and then there is, when you once you click, then there is an option available. I have to apply on country, so I have to move to
मैम
आपके सिस्टम में country, हाँ,
आपके सिस्टम में 3 ऑप्शन आ रहे हैं ना साइड में, डेटा, विजुअलाइजेशन एंड फिल्टर।
yes,
बट मेरे सिस्टम में सिर्फ 2 ही ऑप्शन शो कर रहे हैं, डेटा एंड विजुअलाइजेशन। देयर इज नो फिल्टर ऑप्शन।
okay, so there may be, you have to view that option. There may be view में filter टिक है आपका?
व्यू में पेज व्यू, मोबाइल व्यू और ग्रिडलाइन शेप, लॉक कर्सर। नो मैम, फिल्टर तो मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है इसमें भी। या मिल गया, फॉर्मेट में मिला मुझे फिल्टर, इसीलिए वो ऑप्शंस नहीं आ रहे थे मेरे में अभी तक।
अच्छा,
नाउ आई चेक टॉप 6।
तो ये जो कंट्री हमने सिलेक्ट किया है, मतलब व्हाट विल बी द कैटेगरी, देन देयर इज व्हेन यू क्लिक ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर फिल्टर you will find that it was asking for n top n. Top n जब आप select करोगे, then it will asking for by what value. Then here you have to give that value, whatever you have used for, or it may be anything also. Like you can have filter, maybe you are showing the profit and you can have the filter on like sales. It can be anything else as well.
Okay, I'll check ma'am. Try करती हूँ. Select किया.
So I had given two exercises to you. The first thing is you have to use some Kaggle data, right? You have to go to Kaggle, www.kaggle.com. May you have to choose for data set and use web.
Top 6 पे लगाया, but something went wrong. मैम भी सोचेंगे सबसे डम स्टूडेंट है ये.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, वो कई लोगों के डाउट्स क्लियर होते हैं. If you ask questions, that's what like one has
मेरे
to
साथ
ask
थोड़ा
questions.
प्रॉब्लम भी है. मुझे जब तक क्लियर नहीं होता है चीजें, मैं अपने टीचर से बार बार पूछती रहती हूँ. मैं इस मामले में थोड़ी सी बेशरम हूँ.
नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. We love those students. All the teachers, I think most of the teachers love those kind of student only.
मैं अपने क्लास में भी सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस नहीं पुट अप करती हूँ. जिनको नहीं आता चुपचाप बैठे रहते हैं. क्या फायदा ऐसा पढ़ने से. मैं स्क्रीन शेयर कर रही हूँ. आई थिंक मैं कुछ गलत कर रही हूँ.
Use amazing mark.
माय स्क्रीन विजिबल.
हाँ, it's visible.
मैं डिलीट करके स्टार्टिंग से करती हूँ. मैंने ये लिया. अभी मुझे इस पे कंट्री और ऑर्डर जानना है. ठीक है, तो मैंने कंट्री को यहाँ पे रखेंगे ना, एड डेटा विजुअल.
नहीं नहीं, इसमें विजुअल ले लो. विजुअल it takes अच्छा, which visual पे you are working? You are working on the first visual.
हाँ, या
Okay, fine. ठीक है, ये आपका क्या क्या है? This is order,
कंट्री एंड ऑर्डर.
country and order on the basis of count of order ID है ये.
अभी जैसे ये इतने सारे कंट्री आ रहे हैं, तो मुझे टॉप 6 चाहिए. अभी
Top 6 countries कहाँ आ रहे हैं?
ये आ रहा है ना, यूनाइटेड स्टेट,
अच्छा, okay,
ऑस्ट्रेलिया,
this one.
फ्रांस.
अच्छा, I thought कि first one है. हाँ, ठीक है.
बड़ा करती हूँ
You
इसको.
want top का? हाँ. हाँ.
तो अभी इसको टॉप 6 करने के लिए मुझे फिल्टर्स में जाना होगा ना.
टॉप 6 करने के लिए आपको कंट्री पे, हाँ, फिल्टर में कंट्री में जाओ. फिल्टर में कंट्री, कंट्री पे क्लिक करके देन यू हैव टू टेक
टॉप एंड
then you have to mention 5 or 6, right, on the basis of which data. ये by value है ना, by value में you can put sales maybe. क्योंकि order ID पे तो कोई फायदा नहीं है. You can put sales or maybe
ऑर्डर प्रायोरिटी.
the order priority is not number, because this can be only with respect to number, because value as by value. You can put sales or profit. Sales या profit ले लो.
ओके, थैंक यू मैम. थैंक यू मैम इतनी हेल्प करने के लिए. स्टॉप शेयरिंग.
So you have to use the Kaggle data set for as a data source and upload it And secondly, you have to use the amazing data mart जो हमने कल use किया था, amazing data mart data set, and apply all the operations as we had done today. Right? If you find any difficulty, then let me know. Either or you can, if you have done with the exercise, then share your screen in the WhatsApp. So it's mandatory for you to do the exercise and share it in WhatsApp group. Is it okay?
मैम अगर ये मुझे कंट्री जैसे में कलर्स आ रहे हैं, मुझे
हम्म।
अगर इसको चेंज करना है, वो कहाँ से चेंज होंगे?
हाँ दिखाओ, शेयर करो.
Okay. ऐसा ना कि मैम मुझे ब्लॉक कर दे. शेयर हो रहा है ना? जैसे येलो, ग्रीन, ब्लू एंड ग्रे कलर में आ रहे हैं ना मेरे
हाँ.
कंट्री, तो अगर मुझे इसे किसी और कलर में करना है,
हाँ
तो
इसको
यहाँ
आप
पे
यहाँ से कर सकते हो. हाँ इस पे कलर सर्च कर लो. Yeah, so it's very easy if you search color in this. अब आप नीचे जाओगे तो there is some tile color, मतलब पाई का कलर जो है, कलर शेडो है, विजुअल कलर, विजुअल बॉर्डर है, बैकग्राउंड है. नहीं आप नीचे नीचे जाओ. लाइक दिस इज नॉट टाइटल कलर. ये आप ये वाला है आई थिंक. हाँ इसमें और नीचे है कुछ टेक्स्ट के बाद और कुछ है नीचे.
इसके नीचे तो अभी और कुछ नहीं है.
और कुछ नहीं है तो ऊपर ही होगा.
टेक्स्ट में यहाँ पर है बैकग्राउंड आइकन.
हाँ नहीं आइकन में नहीं, ऊपर होगा.
तो
हाँ
तो
ये
हो
तो
गया.
बॉर्डर नहीं, बॉर्डर नहीं. देयर मस्ट बी समथिंग एट द टॉप. ऊपर होगा फिर. शैडो कलर कलर
सबटाइटल में तो नहीं होगा?
ये टाइटल ऊपर जो लिखा है
टाइटल है. नहीं टाइटल तो टाइटल इज दिस टाइटल. शी इज
टाइटल तो कंट्री ऑर्डर जो लिख कर आ रहा है ना, वो हो रहा है. मुझे इसका कलर चेंज करना है, जो कंट्री कलर्स आ रहे हैं ना, ग्रीन कलर, येलो कलर, वो चेंज करना है मुझे. अगर
और ये क्या है?
या
वैल्यूज
हाँ
वैल्यूज
मिल गया, मैं यहाँ पे मिल गया. इससे मुझे इस चाइना को मैंने ऑरेंज कर दिया, मिल गया. इसी में सब भूलना पड़ेगा. ओके.
हाँ इसी में है सब कुछ. और इसी में जैसे स्लाइसेस है ना, देखो सी द स्लाइसेस. इसमें जैसे स्लाइसेस है उसमें वो था बार्स थे. बार चार्ट में इट इज कॉल्ड एज बार. तो ये स्लाइसेस से आपको पता चल जाएगा. इफ इट इज आस्किंग अबाउट द कलर ऑफ स्लाइसेस देन इट इज फॉर दैट.
थैंक यू मैम. अभी आज आपने जितना बताया है, मैं कल इसको भी प्रैक्टिस करूंगी और फिर कल आपको थोड़े से और क्वेश्चंस पूछूंगी जो नहीं आएंगे.
हाँ नहीं बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. यू कैन प्रैक्टिस. So tomorrow we will be doing additional this thing जो आपके हैं additional visuals हैं. Even visuals you can add on from the app also.
मैम मैंने DAX के भी कुछ फंक्शंस यूज किए थे, लाइक कॉनकैट एंड रिप्लेस. तो रिप्लेस वर्क नहीं कर रहा था मेरा. कॉनकैट वगैरह तो मेरा वर्क था.
दिखा दो.
मैंने वो सेव नहीं किया था फाइल, मुझे सेव का तब नहीं पता था. मैंने YouTube से कुछ किए थे, काउंट डिजिट काउंट करना और ये सारी चीजें.
कॉन्टैक्ट है, रिप्लेस भी हो जाएगा. रिप्लेस का आपने वो नहीं किया होगा, अप्लाई नहीं हुआ होगा. हाँ तो वो कर लो, क्या हो जाएगा वो. आई थिंक उसका फॉर्मेट भी है, वो भी है. रिप्लेस में यू कैन रिप्लेस अ पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रिंग विद समथिंग एल्स, है ना. जैसे
वो आप मुझे कल बता दीजिएगा.
वो मैं बता दूंगा.
ठीक है. बाकी डिजिट काउंट और ये सारी चीजें तो मैंने किया था, वो हो गया था.
हो गया. ठीक है. एक वो आपका मुझे वो करना है ना आज जो आपने भी भेजा है.
हाँ.
I think all of us, all of you are with me. So ये आप कर सकते हो ना. So you have to try for the external data source and you have to use the Amazing Mart data set and apply all the operations, because Amazing Data Mart maybe there were columns which are not coming and there are rows which are not in format. So you have to apply the same and work it out.
अमेजिंग डेटा मार्ट जो भी आपने शेयर किया था डेटा,
वो कल किया था शेयर.
ओके ओके.
उस पे आप लोग ये, उस पे हमने कनेक्शंस नहीं बनाए थे ना कल, बिकॉज वी हैड डन कनेक्शंस टुडे. डेटा व्यू में जाके और है ना, यू हैव टू क्वेरी में जाके यू हैव टू ट्रांसफॉर्म एंड यू हैव टू clean the data and update the data.
Okay, ma'am. We will try.
Okay, fine. So you do practice today, and we are meeting tomorrow with the new apps or new visuals, with new apps and new visuals. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Ma'am, can I get the same amazing data mart data? Because I
Yeah.
think because of the network glitch, I could download it.
Yeah. So no issue. I will give. I have copied in your WhatsApp group also. I will be sharing it here also.
Sure, sure. I'll download it. Thank you, ma'am.
हाँ.
बारिश हो रही है यार, कपड़े उठाओ. Just give me a 5 minute.
On
Actually, the file is open, so that's why I am not able to. I just share that.
Monica ma'am, just a minute.
Yes.
There's some more thing that we are going to do, or we are going to call it a day?
I'm just sharing the data, amazing data mart data set. And I have given the exercise, whatever we had done for today, you have to follow the instructions and you have to apply it in the this amazing data mart data set.
That was shared yesterday, right?
Yeah, I have already shared that yesterday, that same Excel sheet. So you have to do the data connection, you have to transform that data set, remove the null spaces, change the columns, change the data type, and make the connections.
One small request I had requested in the WhatsApp also. There's some problem with my instrument. So
Okay.
if they can share it in the mail, then I cannot see anything. Like I cannot hear there's some problem in my instrument, my phone.
Your phone. So where I should share in the mail?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
where
Yeah, you can share the mail ID.
No,
Or-
I have just put a request stating that
Okay.
there's some issue. And when you're sharing for everybody, that time you can share now, not a big.
Fine.
So you can just